Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hi. Hi, Jake. Hi. Hi, guys.
It's loud enough.
We got our signature song for today, guys. Can you hear it?
Can you hear the song?
Can you hear the song? Okay. Thank you.
When I found you, I found love.
Y'all tag and share, bring some people on.
You told her goodbye.
You start already.
Oh, whoop, my bad.
Y'all, if you come in, check in, let us know where y'all coming in from. Hey! We're going to try to be nice today.
That song is deep. Come on now. Love.
Don't start singing, Jake. You gonna sing for us? You gonna sing for us? Yes, you are. You and Michelle gonna sing for us at the end of the show?
Girl, you know I ain't singing. Stop playing.
What? Y'all gonna sing for us. I should tell you ahead of time.
Oh, that would be a treat.
Yes.
That would really be fun.
Yes. We gonna do it. We can sing too.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, now that song did it for me.
Yeah, that's a pretty song.
That is. Woo! That was something. And I wasn't gonna play the whole song. I was like, how much of the song you want to play, Te'Necia?
All in.
But that had to be played. All of that had to be played.
Yeah.
Because that was deep. I haven't heard that song before. And if I had, I was probably really young.
No, that's not a really, really old song. I don't think that's a real old song. It's not that old.
That made me want to get married again. Hey, wife, how are you? It's good to see
love and a headache. Come on, Roderick.
Now, that's something my husband would say. I found love and a headache.
How you doing, Miss Lady?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you up here today. I'm glad you're up here to help us with this show. We needed some extra help, but we know you sit beside the king, so we still needed some help.
I don't know why y'all be treating me like I'm just hurting people. I just don't know.
Okay, we got our candy. See this right here? This is what I got. So I'm gonna keep this in my mouth so I can feel crazy. I got my candy to keep my mouth quiet today. All right, so what we're gonna do, we gotta take care of some Sunday business before we get on up here. And what we asking people to do when you come in, tag and share somebody. Facebook's doing a lot of extra different stuff that we can't get up here right. So, but that's okay. We on StreamYard.com, StreamYard. So we're on YouTube. If you can't, if this don't go up, just go on YouTube, you'll still be able to see it. Okay, and the Te'Necia and Sha'Keya. We want y'all to like our page. We want y'all to check in. Let us know where y'all checking in from. So we may not be able to respond to you right now, but we'll go back and respond to you, in the week on that. As we engage with each other. Okay, we're giving you our popular opinion. So we're not going to be biased or we're not going to be discriminatory or anything this way. Everybody has their own opinion. So I guess Kia comes and well, first of all, my name's Te'Necia.
I'm Sha'Keya.
Okay, and we have our two lovely guests, King Jake and Queen Michelle. They're up here with us today. But like we said, we introduce ourselves, and y'all already know what we're about when we get up here. So Kia want to tell us that this disclaimers.
Oh, well, she already said one of them. Guys, we're not doctors. I'm not one. I'm not a marriage counselor, because we're talking about relationships today.
Mm-hmm.
Not a marriage counselor. We're not giving out our business, okay? We just go by what we hear, what we see, what we experience sometimes, what other people experience. We might be just talking about people who may not be. We might just be having a conversation. That's all we really do. It's just conversation. But we also help a lot of people out as well. It's still like really, really good stuff. Okay, so at the end of the day, we all just human. We all just trying to live this life in a good way, be happy. That's it. So please don't go back and be like, Kia told you anything.
Because I ain't saying nothing.
Because we're not diagnosing nobody.
No.
Okay? We're not saving it. We're not breaking it. Okay? Anyway, we just here to have a really good time and help some people and, just enjoy conversation with some adult time. That's all it is. Okay?
That's it.
That's it.
All right, so we got our disclaimer out the way. We got any birthdays, any shout outs, you can put it in the comments. We want to give you a happy birthday, happy shout out, happy anniversary, happy
everything,
birth, or whatever you're doing, happy graduation. Put it in the comments. Anybody has any podcasts that they're doing, put in the comments. King Jake, they have something on the Clubhouse. Right. Okay. I can't get on Clubhouse, but they'll put it in the comments so we'll know. He'll talk about their Clubhouse, so they can y'all can check that out. We want to support as many people as we can. Something is going on every day, on our podcast. But that's good. This I'm not gonna keep saying pandemic because I think this is over. This is enough. We didn't call it 2 years. That's good enough. This situation that we had went through has taught us a lot and gave us a lot of insight on how to get out here social media and interact with the whole world. So I really like this. It's giving us a chance to get out. Yeah. Is he still laughing?
Who?
What I say? What did I say?
I don't know. Say it again so we can get clarity.
She said we've dealt with this pandemic for 2 years. That's enough. I'm just done. I'm tired of it. It's over. It's
over.
Don't worry about it.
She said bye.
Don't wear your mask no more. Don't do none of that stuff. It's over. It's done.
Let's get back to the real world. Okay.
Oh wow. She dismissed it.
I ain't dismissed it, but everything that came with it was a blessing. Now it's time to get back to the real world. Okay. So we're going to kick off. One thing we did last week, we kicked off something called Oh Wells. And we didn't have nothing to talk about in the media, but we ain't oh well in this today, y'all. We already know what happened with the smack last Sunday, so we can talk about something else. We didn't talk about that enough. Michelle, I'm so sick of looking at that. Get you tired of watching that.
Girl.
Are they
Can you run?
Oh, yes.
Are y'all doing the mannequin challenge on us? It's like doing a mannequin challenge.
Let's do it, Michael.
Let's do it.
Like.
Listen. Girl, I'm so sick and tired of listening about Will Smith and
done with
Chris Rock. I'm so sick and tired of people getting into this argument. I'm just done with that. If I have to talk about Will Smith one more time,
I know. I'm over and done with it too. The whole week.
Podcast coming soon. Okay, Roger said podcast coming soon. Roderick's podcast is coming soon. So I guess I said it with my chest that way. Is that a good way to say it?
Say it with your chest. Maybe that's the name of the podcast. Say it with your chest.
That's the name of your podcast. Stop, Michelle. You need to stop.
Because she really said that with her chest. She said,
yes, she did.
She got excited. She threw it out there. Okay.
No, I can't see. This thing is so little, I can't see it. I got my phone right here. I'm trying to stay composed, y'all. Come on, y'all stop.
Sha'Keya, what you do? What you do, Sha'Keya?
She said, say it with your chest.
What that's what it said? It said, say it with your chest.
Yeah. But, yeah. But I think it's the name. It might be the name.
But it sounded like that. See, he said yes. That's how you want to say it. Say it with your chest. They men. They got to get it off.
Yeah. We going with it.
See what you start, Roderick?
Well, that's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a real good one. So give us an what y'all know in the news. What's going on?
That was it, because that's all they blew up.
Yeah, that's all they
blew up. They didn't get no room for nothing else.
Y'all didn't heard it? I heard about nothing else either?
Nope.
The reality is everybody's talking about whether or not Will Smith was justified in smacking Chris Rock, and the truth of the matter is, then the other argument that I've been in was I know a whole lot of women said, well, yeah, he stood up for his wife. The question is his wife? I know she's the mother of his children, but was she acting like a woman that was worthy of being stood up for?
That's right.
And so there's a whole lot of stuff that's been going on in that whole dynamic, whether or not was what Chris Rock said a slight against an illness, or was it a joke from a comedian?
It was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is it was, and if you really look at the joke that he said, it literally took the light from her illness to her decision. Because in G.I. Jane, she shaved her head. She didn't lose her hair.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually did a benefit to her, because he took it from her having to deal with an illness to her making a decision to shave her head.
Yeah,
I don't think he did it as being harmful.
Not in that moment, No.
I
think in that moment he was really doing a joke.
Yeah,
But because
that's what he was hired for.
Yeah. Say that again.
That's what he was hired for. He was a comedian to do jokes.
Right.
And then who in the world would sit directly in? I'm telling you right now, when I come visit y'all, I ain't sitting nowhere near the microphone.
First of all,
nowhere.
You ain't got to worry about getting the mic. I'm just gonna tell you that now.
No, I ain't saying get the mic. Okay, what I'm trying to say is I ain't sitting nowhere near you with the microphone, because I don't want to hear about what you say. What you say? You got to sit away from people, because I be sitting right there. I be the joke of the whole. No,
I would never do that, Te'Necia.
See, you can't even see that. You can't even see her face. I say thank you. You got my back already. You already know him.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
But since we ain't got no oh wells, let's see what some people said. She started
pop locking. That's what she did, Roderick. She did. And we all caught it. We was here for it, but we're not gonna go backwards.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
We're not gonna go backwards.
We are not. So what we come to do, y'all, we come to introduce our friend and our special guest tonight and his queen. Can you hear us okay?
They doing the challenge.
Can you hear us okay? Because he's letting me in. You know what, Dennis?
I think so. I think it's just buffering a little bit.
It might be. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just keep going because it might not show up when we get on the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're doing is introducing our friend and our guest for tonight. His name is King Jake Hopson and his wife Michelle Hopson. We're glad to have them up here tonight. They're coming back. They came last month. Was last month? February.
Yeah, I think it was January.
February. It was February. Anyway, they came before. I think it was in February they came. Was it February y'all came? It wasn't last month in March. In February. Mm-hmm. And we're bringing them back again. The conversation was great. So they're back by popular demand. So we'll have them up. We're so happy to have them up here tonight. We're going to get a little thing to say, yay! Round of applause! Yes, yes, yes. So our topic tonight is finding her. So I guess we don't know how to pop this off because, girl, I'm tell you, we got these candies right here. You know what this means?
I know how to pop it off because I had a conversation earlier in the week with someone.
Okay, so she gonna start this out.
And if you don't mind me starting, because I think this is a good way to start it.
Okay, let's go. Let me put this in my mouth first. I mean, I'm gonna shut up.
Unless you guys had a way to start it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
Let's go.
And Sha'Keya, I see you already you ready for me today. I see it today.
See, I got my candy, Michelle. I'm glad I ain't saying nothing.
Here, I just want you to know I am a doctorate and I do counsel. So you
Well, not my tablet over.
Hey sis, how you doing, Yvonne? Okay. So I wanted to start it off this way because I remember this has been about 10, maybe 15 years ago. I'm pretty sure in the church, it's still being taught this way, right? Okay, but now I had a list, okay? I didn't put all my things on the list, but I had a list. I was stuck to that list, and I was talking to one of my friends. I don't know if she's going to pop up here tonight or not, but I remember some of my girlfriends from back in the day, and we used to go to church, and we used that's why I put it in the description of the video. He who findeth a wife finds a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember a couple of my girlfriends used to say, honey, he gonna have to find me, physically come to my house. They believe this. This is not something I heard. This is not something that, I'm just thinking. This was something that physically came out of their mouth. Homeboy is gonna have to come to my house to find me, because that scripture was embedded so deeply into their head. Okay, I'm not leaving this house to go look for him. I don't know if Sir Charles is going to be across the street and I have to go across the street for him to see me. He going to really have to pull in this yard, get out the car, come and knock on the door and say, I'm God sent. That's how deeply they believed that word, that scripture. So I wanted to start there because there's a lot of women, I believe, or I think, there's a lot of women today that truly, truly, truly believes that that's how it happens. I didn't think that way. I thought a little bit outside the box, I'm at least got to go to sit down at Applebee's, for him to come and at least find me. I got to be out there for him to find me. So the difference in the two women, my mindset and that woman's mindset.
Okay.
That's where I wanted to start because it's finding her. That's where I wanted to start right there.
Okay, so
that's the place to start.
We'll work it. So there's a number of things that you've said, and again, thank you guys for inviting little old me back, my wife and I back. We're definitely glad to be here.
Somebody love people.
The thing that I'll say about that is that's why it's important to rightly divide the word of truth properly. Mm-hmm. Not right when we talk about he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, it is not found in location, it's found in life. Mm-hmm. Or for the true wife, you are a wife before you get married. You're his wife when he chooses you. Mm-hmm. And so if I find you, I got to find you in the place you're in mentally and find you in the place you're in spiritually. Most of the problem that we have is we have women who want to be found physically, but mentally and spiritually you're in the wrong place. And so what happens is you've seen your husband, but he hasn't seen you because you're in the spiritual wrong place or you're in the mental wrong place. So when he sees you, he can't find you because you're not where he's looking. And so it's important to understand that no matter what's going on right now, if he finds you, he has to find you in the, okay, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, Psalms 91, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge. And the thing that you have to realize is how he finds you is how he'll treat you. If he finds you in a nothing mindset and a nothing spiritual place, he is not required to treat you any kind of way. You can put parameters, but he's not required to follow those. But if he has to go through God to find you, then the parameters that God sets is how he has to treat you. So it's the state, not the place. It's the state, not the place. How did he find you in state, not place? That makes sense?
It makes sense. And
so those people that are sitting inside of a house talking about, you got to come find me, you got to come to my house and knock on my door, you'll be single for the rest of your life.
For the rest of their life. And I wanted to start there because I literally had that conversation this week with one of my coworkers, and she basically said that. And she was like, child, he gonna come and get me because
how he know what she is?
He's supposed to find me. I'm not supposed to be seeking. And I said, well, you need to be on the live because we're going to talk about finding her, you know, and you need to come to the live. And she was like, well, he gonna find me. I'm not finding no, you know. So yeah.
The thing you have to realize,
I really don't think that scripture is broken down enough. Like even in my times of going to church, when I go and I hear that, I've never heard it broken down. I've always heard the scripture read, but I've never heard it broken down like to an understanding where people can really understand that it's not that this man is, you know, like in a physical state versus mental state versus, you know, I've never, ever heard it broken down.
Well,
so people
that I'm the first one that she heard.
Could be a common sense thing as well, but still, even though it's common sense, being a teenage girl growing up with the fairy tale, I'm going to get married. You know what I'm saying? Not marriage as a fairy tale, but just getting married. You need to have that scripture broken down because you're growing up in the church. So you need to know.
It's a conversation whether people are in church or whether they're not. I think sometimes people take, like they said before, all we can do is do the best, but what we can do, but what we have heard and what we've been taught.
Right.
You know,
but see, that's where I argue, because everything that you've been taught is only something you've been taught that you've never studied. And if your entire life is wrapped around what someone else taught you, their revelation of that, then you can't be mad when you've never lived.
Right.
But you're living in the construct and the confines of their revelation, not your own.
That's right.
And so what the Bible says, to him that knoweth to do and doeth not, to him that sinned. In other words, if God didn't convict you about it, but he convicted me about it, and I put it on you as sin, and you're now living and don't live in your life because you call what I call sin, or what God convicted me about as sin, and I put it on you, and you wrapped your life around, oh, I can't go to the movies because going to the movies is sin. Oh God, if I go to the movies, I'm sinning. We did that back in the day.
Yeah.
Reality was, it was not the sin. The sin was not the movie. The sin was that we, after the movie, it embedded something in us. It exposed us to certain things that we weren't exposed to at the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was going against what
But it's a common sense thing, because I never had to be taught or told that that's what it really was. It was common sense to me to know that I can listen to R&B music. It's whether I let it sink into my spirit and act upon it. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't a reaction to you. It's a reaction to some other people may, whatever may bother me may not bother somebody else. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nothing. There may be something to somebody else. It may cause them to have a different reaction to those different things.
But you have to understand too that music is the only thing that skips past your intellect. It goes directly to your spirit, man. Most people will listen to music, and even if you don't listen to the words, it's still becoming a part of you.
Yeah, because later on you're careful. A thing back in your mind again. You be right. Even a tune, you be like,
right. Because just like
you didn't listen to nothing they said.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna prove it to you. Nobody bought the Folgers album, but if I started singing "The Best Part of Waking Up," everybody will know exactly Folgers in your cup. But you didn't buy the album,
right?
You didn't study the words, but it went directly past your intellect and goes directly into your spirit, and you learn. That's why children learn quicker when they're a part of music, when they're a part of some type of endeavor like that. They learn a lot quicker, and because it goes directly into you.
One, two, there's 2 questions. Okay, I didn't bring this up. Oh, she holding up one finger for real.
Oh, I thought it was flicking me off.
No, it's one finger. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Okay, we got 2 questions down here. We got Roderick. Can you see Roderick and Nene? Can you see them 2 down there?
I'm trying to look at them now. I can go to the chat. Okay. What we've taught was not a physical place, but a complete formation of a wife as a state of being. I agree with you, Roderick. It is not you're finding her in a location, even though when you meet her, she's in a location. But the location is inconsequential. The location is just a conversation point. It's the position as the state of a wife. So if you want a man who is a millionaire, but you can't manage or balance a checkbook, why would he want you? What benefit are you to him that he just because you got lips, hips, and dips, that doesn't make you a benefit. You literally become a liability to his bottom line and not an asset. So if that's all you are is your lips, your hips, and your dips, you're not ready for marriage. You're ready for a vibrator with a pulse. Can you expound on being mentally or spiritually wrong place, and how do women get into the right place? Very good question, Nene. Mentally, if you understand the mindset of a man who is trying to be a millionaire, a man who is going to his millions or has already attained his millions, you understand something. Either he can be home all day, cuddling up and eating, or he could be out making his money and come home at a certain time. A man who is out grinding to make his money is not the same man that's going to be home all day so that you can have 4 or 5 different sex sessions in the day. So the man that you're prepared for is the man that you actually encounter. So if you keep preparing or not preparing, you'll encounter the dogs and the frogs and those who are on the lowest rung of existence, because that's what you're prepared for. Mentally and spiritually. You can't say you want a man that loves God and your relationship with God is lackluster, if even there. You want a man that loves God because God-fearing men treat that. No. If you don't have a relationship with God, then you don't have a definition of what loving God looks like. So you'll think that just because he goes to church means he loves God. But going to church means he loves God, just like laying in a garage make you a Mercedes. Okay? So there's a lot of people right now who you literally want this man of God, this woman of God, but you're not prepared spiritually to be found in God where he can find you. So if you don't have a relationship, a man of God will overlook you because your intimacy with God is not something that he's on, is not on that level with him. Your intimacy, that's why he says don't be unequally yoked. Why am I going to yoke myself up with someone who doesn't even know how to get to God's presence? And if, as a man of God, this woman right here, she has to pray for me at levels most women cannot handle. So if you're not a prayer warrior, you're not even in the running.
That's right. That's right.
Please, and that's why and Roderick, I'm gonna get in trouble. That's why there's a whole lot of people getting BBLs but never got their GED.
GELs, BBLs.
They got the Brazilian butt lift, but they never got their diploma. And you think that just because you got a butt, he's going to want to finance your foolishness. He'll play with you, but he won't make you a demand in his life.
Come on now. Well,
we just listening. You teaching today, so you know.
So the other part of Nini's question is, how do women get in the right place? You want to tackle that, or you want?
Complete sense. Thanks for explaining it. Come on, Shea. You talking?
You want to try?
The only thing I was going to say, a lot of times we are looking for a man that can do all these things for us. We want this man to take care of us, treat us like a queen, do all of this stuff, but we never stop and think about what we're supposed to be doing for him. So that's where we get messed up. So we want him to do everything, and we don't really show up with anything to compliment him. And then we're mad because he's upset with us and he's not wanting to treat us this way, because technically we're not really deserving at that point, because we're not doing anything to want him to stick around.
Yeah.
How do I get into a place? How do I get into a place that is mentally and spiritually right? I'm going to say something. 3 people might get mad at me, and that's fine. Your place is your decision. You can't want more and not do more. You can't want. See, and I said something earlier. I think a lot of people missed it. The problem is you want the wedding. You don't want the relationship. You want the feeling, but you don't want the husband. You want the sex partner, but you don't want the intimacy. Because the intimacy, the question you have to ask yourself is, are you willing to give the same level of intimacy that you're asking for?
Come on.
Yeah.
Because every man wants intimacy as well. Just because he actually act up or leave it alone. Just because you can make him climax doesn't mean that it was intimate.
Bring it on out, right?
Because all you got to do is rub that a couple of times, and that's gonna climax. But the reality is, every man wants the level of intimacy that you're asking for. If you're asking for it, be willing to give it.
I know that's right.
No, you didn't.
Woo. Y'all, I ain't saying nothing. Okay, we got some hands up. Put it like that. Can you see up here? Can y'all see them, Michelle? The questions.
What are the characteristics? What are the characteristics that men look for? Oh my God, I can't speak for all men in every characteristics, but I would say this, that you can pray above your pay grade, just like you can seek a man that's above your station. Let me say it again. You can pray above your pay grade, just like you can seek a man above your station. Some of you right now, you're talking about, well, you know, I can cook, I can clean, I keep myself right, I keep myself clean, I should be able to find a man, but your mind is messed up. You'd rather watch movies than find out how to make what you do a business. You'd rather be out here doing the dating aspect of life, but you don't bring anything to the table but a job and a paycheck. You can't stretch him mentally. You can't push him emotionally. And then you get mad because the only people that want you are the people that want to play with you but not marry you. But you're playing with yourself. I was counseling a young man, and I was counseling this young man, and this young man said to me, he said, Pastor, I want to marry her, but, you know, I don't. I was like, well, does she have any kids? He was like, yeah, she has 2.
It's gonna come back on. Maybe it's Ah! Hey!
Okay.
We still up here. So they're coming back up. So before they come back up, y'all put your questions in this thing. This is good. It seems like this happens to us a lot, but that's all right.
It doesn't happen a lot, but Te'Necia.
No, it doesn't. No, at the beginning, but we said good. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. He said, I want to marry her. I asked if she had kids. He said, yes, she had 2 kids. I said, look at how she treats her current responsibility, which is the mindset of how she's going to treat you as a responsibility.
Responsibility.
If her kids are up all day and all day long, they're running around in a diaper, in a onesie, they haven't got their hair combed, they haven't got their dinner, they haven't got their lunch or their breakfast, they don't bathe until, and they run up to you and jump in your arms, they got corn in their hair, and if how she treats her current responsibility is a mess, then how she'll treat you as a responsibility, everything that y'all are responsible for will also be a mess.
That goes both ways. Get done.
Yes, it goes both ways. If he can't pay bills and don't maintain a secure financial state, he's not ready for you. If, as a man, and let me say this too, if a man doesn't bring you better than where your father has had you, he's not ready.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I might have heard you wrong. Let me back up 1 second. Can I back up?
Yeah.
I might have had something that happened. Did you say that I might have missed the part before that?
Okay.
That he was her responsibility? What did you say?
I think we both got kind
Let me eat a piece of candy. I was trying to hear that.
Because understand how she treats her current responsibility.
Which is her
These
kids.
things,
I think that.
these things came from her. You're just coming in her.
Right.
How she treats them. If she don't treat them good, what makes you think she's gonna treat you good?
If she don't treat her, she don't treat what she got going on.
No, I understood that. I just.
But you said the responsibility.
The responsibility part just threw me. I just wanted to hear that.
Well, relationship is responsibility.
It is. I think it's the way that I heard it that just kind of.
This woman right here is my responsibility.
Right.
I am her responsibility. How she's kept is my response, is her response to my ability. What I do for her is my response to my ability concerning her. So she's my responsibility.
I heard it that first time. That was confused because we both heard it the same way, did we?
Yeah. I get it. Probably you said responsibility. I ain't taking care of nothing. I'm just. And
it was the way it came off was like.
Hold on, wait. Let us explain. Let me put my hand up. Let us put both of you. Let us explain first. Okay. Michelle came on and she said something in the beginning. We want, as women, we want what the men take care of us. That ain't what you said, Michelle. That's what we wanted. But then you coming back and you addressing it and saying it has to be both parties' responsibility. So when me and Sha'Keya heard it, it was like, what you mean? My responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But now you coming and saying it's both of our responsibilities.
Right.
All we heard, sometimes when people heard one key word, oh, nope.
Focus on that one key word.
That's one key word. We heard responsibility.
Because
we heard
it came off as though.
Me. No,
Because I know what you were trying to say, but it just came off as though, okay, I hear when you say, you know, look at her kids. Her kids are looking, they raggedy. They're not being taken care of, basically. So how is she going to take care of you if she's not taking care of your kids? I'm looking at this grown man that I don't have to take care of him as far as what I should be doing on the level of my kids because he grown.
But
that's the part. But
that's not responsibility.
That's what I stuck at.
Yeah.
That's not responsibility. He should be, but see that, and I guess I don't know. That's where you know, just life just
and
change you.
Yes.
You know.
Well, let me say this too. Let me say this too. Sha'Keya, Te'Necia, the thing that you have to understand is responsibility is a word. It's not positive or negative. But you hear it in what you're used to, not what it is. So you hear responsibility and you equated it immediately to the kids. However, your husband is a responsibility as an adult. Your wife is a responsibility as an adult. So instead of responsibility is just like a word like consequence. Consequence is not a bad thing. It could be positive or negative. It's just a word.
That's fine.
But because of life circumstances, you miss out on opportunities because you have PTSD from your past.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is why, not to cut across you, that is why a lot of women they are so independent in their mindset that they choose to be single because they don't want a man to feel like, they don't want a man dictating to them that they have to, you know, do certain things to them, for them, and, you know, make them feel like, because they feel like you grown. You are a whole grown man. Why? I'm not your mother. We are doing this together. That's not how I feel, because as a wife, I do take care of my husband. I do things, but there are some things that I wake up in the morning, he wake up in the morning, and I'm expecting you to do as a grown man. He expecting me to do as a grown woman. But set aside wifely and husband duties. That's common sense things, you know, but there's other things that are, you do this, you handle this because that is you as an adult handling it, you know. But there are just some women that's going to remain single because of this very thing alone by itself. You know, if I'm saying it correct, if you understand what I'm saying, you know.
Absolutely. A geisha in Japanese culture, most of our African American women could not deal with being with a Japanese man, because a geisha in the Japanese culture, not only does she meet him at the door, take off his shoes and wash his feet at the door, but make sure that his bath is run. And she puts him in the bath. And when she washes his entire body, then she dries him off, has his clothes there ready for him to be dressed, then feeds him his dinner. Some of them won't eat until after he's finished eating.
That's a different culture.
See, yeah,
that's a different culture. But see, the question is, has your mindset based off of the culture been solidified based off of a culture or based off of your truth? Do you have a culture mindset? And if your mindset is so based off the culture that you don't have the opportunity or the ability to think for yourself, then you can't be mad that you're single.
Right.
Because the culture says that in order for you to be married, you got to be a size 4. You got to have a triple G breast, a big old butt that you can set a tray on that nobody.
Stop. Go
That's
ahead.
What the culture says.
Okay.
The culture says for men, we got to have a 6-pack. We got to have green eyes or blue eyes. Our hair has to be curly. It has to. We're missing it. And you don't even realize that you're being dictated by a culture, not by your truth. Right. And then you get mad because you're single, and the culture then blames you for being single. You're not ready to be married, but you took your cues from your culture.
Right. Yeah. Have you seen this? I've seen this come across Facebook so many times. Oh, well, we do got things in the thing he rated. Hold on.
Wait, what's your question? Could answer right now.
And this is neither here nor there. It's just something crazy that be coming across Facebook. You've seen it where they say, "Who do you feed first? Your the husband or the children?" And it's never been like a thing for me, but I do it for a different reason. I've always fed my husband first. And it wasn't because I looked at him as being better or greater or more important than my children. It was just, I give him what he wants, let the kids go and get the rest. You know, I always made more than enough anyway. But y'all get whatever y'all want. When y'all finish, y'all clean the kitchen. Because we going back in here in the room and we going to eat. That was my mindset. I never sat back and thought about, I feed my husband first because he the head of the household. He's the, he's more, I put him on a pedestal above my kids, but people always made that like a thing that I saw so much of. What is your take? Did you ever see that?
I seen it. My thing is, I felt like I always fed my kids first.
Okay.
When they were smaller, I fed them first. Say for instance, if my husband didn't come home till later, and we ate before they came home. They were little kids. I feed them first before he get home. But it got to the point we all ate together. I fixed everybody plate and put the plates down. I mean, it ain't like he gonna eat first. I just put his plate there, all the kids' plate. We said grace, we ate. I mean, everybody ate at the same time. Ain't nobody eating. Nobody was eating before the other. Right. All of us ate together, so that was a difference. I didn't see who got a plate first. All of us ate at the same time. I just put the plates down.
And I always looked at that little thing as being like something small, something petty. I'm only bringing it up because I always see it every now and then come across
it does.
the timeline,
it comes across a lot.
And people make a big deal out of it. They always say, well, if you feed your kids first, or if you feed your man first, then before your kids, then you are this, or you this type of woman, or whatever. And we talking about it now. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, or maybe so.
Well, I mean, that is 100% semantics, to be honest with you. I mean, you now in some households, the man requires his wife to give him his plate first. In some households, but that's a conversation you have between you and your spouse.
Yeah,
I mean,
Who cares? As
make,
long as by the time I get to the table, I have something to eat.
that's it. That's the same thing I say. We get the food.
who cares?
Don't somebody eat till we say grace. Dang, everybody got a plate. You know, you got some food. That's it. My only thing, we're gonna get to y'all questions up here, Roderick and Nene. Y'all comments. I'm just gonna say this one thing. The reason why we get to y'all is because it's written out. We don't want to lose our train of thought. This is the thing that gets me. Is that dang, I had it.
Well, while she thinking about it, I always eat first because I cook it and I taste test. By the time I'm done, I done ate already. By the time I'm done cooking, I done ate already. So I'm not.
I know that's right.
I eat first.
The thing, because Nene had mentioned up here, is women are so independent. Nowadays, like you're saying about the different cultures, whether it's a culture or whether it's not, the times have changed. We don't live in 1950, 60, 40, 50, or 60 no more. So you got men going to work, women going to work. So whether the thing is a man is taking care of a woman or not, if he's taking care of me and I'm at home doing all these things, I don't mind making sure that he got his dinner. Because if he's buying groceries, I'm going to make sure he eat. I'm going to make sure the house is clean. If he's paying the bills and I'm not working, it's a difference. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes when it's two people doing it, it should be shared. But if it's one person doing it, one breadwinner, why not be? You see what I'm saying?
In our house, we share it. I mean, I'm mostly at home, but that's because what I bring in, I pay the bills. And when she works, it's not that she's working to pay the bills, because the bills, now there are things that we share because we made that decision.
That's right.
The problem is everybody's trying to pattern their relationship after this ideal of relationship. When in reality, you don't want a relationship. You want a fairy tale that came out of a book that literally puts you. Marriage and relationship is work and conversation.
Yes, it is.
Constant. If you're not willing to converse, if you're not willing to compromise, stay single. Be a hoe.
Not a hoe.
Be a what?
Okay. Don't worry about that part. But stay single.
Duly noted.
Okay. The problem, and the reason I said be a hoe is because really all you want is that connection physically. That's all you really want. Because marriage says, I'm about to say something I'm gonna get in trouble. Marriage says that my body no longer belongs to me.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage says that her body no longer belongs to her.
Yeah.
So that means that no matter what you're doing, even if you're mad, you can't use sex as an ammunition to make that man, I just got in trouble. You can't say, well, I ain't gonna give him none tonight, or she ain't gonna get none tonight. No.
Yeah. Her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Let me see. You know what? I was saying we didn't we ain't even gotten to a question yet. We had one question.
Yeah.
We had 5 questions. I told you that. So let's go down here to see what some of these people are talking about. Let's see what our guests are talking about. Okay, Miss Nene said we are so independent because the dating pool is filled with pee. Good, great. Ooh, Nene. And then she said, men nowadays don't want to have a basic necessity to be a husband: house, car, job, etc. Yeah, you're right about that.
Can I tell you something? Can I get in trouble?
You already is.
Men are trifling because of 2 reasons. Number 1, they were raised without fathers in their home. So they don't know anything but being a feminized understanding with a penis. The other reason is because of the standard that you set. Do you realize that a man will do whatever's necessary to make the woman he's interested in be interested in him? If women had a standard, if women had a standard, if women across the board, if y'all came together, had one huge woman meeting and said, okay, y'all, listen, we're not going to give men no more sexual favors until we marry. All the prostitutes got to come off the corner. There's no more strip clubs. If all of y'all came together and said, we're going to elevate ourselves, every woman in America, every African-American woman, every woman in America, we're all going to get at least a bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many men would be in college right now?
They want that woman.
Do you know how many men would be making six figures?
Wow.
Do you realize that if all of our women would do that, it would end, listen to me, it would completely end gangbanging. It would end men on the street. It would end anything that does not have to do with getting a woman who has some self-security, who has some self-esteem. If every one of our women had that, I promise you, we would, killing each other would go to almost nothing.
Whew, so finding her.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sha'Keya. You got any more? You got any more Jolly Ranchers? I need a Jolly Rancher.
We got a couple more up here.
Woo! Woo! The block is hot.
Yes. Ebony had I don't know if you went over the one that Ebony had said prior to that. She said, well, what are some characteristics, or what was the I'm sorry, Ebony. It said, what are some characteristics that men are looking for? That was a good question.
When they going out to find her.
When they going out to find her, you know, what
that is dependent on every man. Every man has his own specific characteristics that he's looking for. Some men, some men are attracted by a woman who's not showing a whole lot, but still looks classy and still is sexy at the same time. Some men want to know that you got a butt. Some men, and then they find out who you are after they find out what you are. We are physical. We are physically attracted to you.
Hold on. Go ahead. I'm gonna write it down. Go ahead.
After they find out what you are.
Yeah.
They find out.
So clarify that. So they're going to stick with you first. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. They're going to see if you're physically attractive to them. That's what you are.
Okay.
You are a woman without.
Okay.
A man will watch you from across the room to see if you're as ghetto as the people you hang around. He's going to see the company you keep. And he's going to adjust how he's going to come at you based on your surroundings, based on what he's observed.
Okay.
So if all he's seen about you is that you and your girls are in a circle and y'all are pop locking and dropping it, y'all are all going crazy, you all loud and you ghetto, guess how he's coming after you?
Loud and ghetto, I guess.
He's coming after you based on your presentation.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna say. He'll be like, "What's up, Mom?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you get mad. I told somebody the other day, I was on a clubhouse, and I told him, I said, it's funny how if I walked up to you with a badge on and in a police uniform, if you don't know anything about police credentials, you would automatically assume that because I had on the uniform, that I was a police officer. But you get mad when the man assumes what you are by what you wear. Or brother, you get mad when she assumes what you are by what you wear. Because some hot boy uniforms are literally nothing but invitations to women. We got our hot boy uniforms too.
Yeah.
And nowadays, y'all are so aggressive. Y'all will approach a man and be like, look, all I want from you is let me see what you.
Yeah, 2022 is a whole another.
Yeah.
Yes. And I guess basically, you know, one thing I can say is that, you know, in the situation that happened on last Sunday, and not jumping back into this, but this is sometimes we got to live our truth, like you said. Stop trying to live this whatever, you know, this persona. We want a great big brick house with all this and all this and all this picket white fence or whatever. Let whatever you want be what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And like you said, you have to be equally yoked. If that person is not matching you, I had a conversation with somebody the other day. It's like marriage should be a match. We had the matching games we were coming up. You know, you had to pick two pairs up, match together. Okay, if you pick the man with bald head, eyeglasses, and you know what I'm saying, he got a pipe in his mouth. Okay, if you pick the lady that has that, that's not the match. You have to pick the same exact pieces to be a match. Then you know that's together. Okay, if you got a puzzle, sometimes a puzzle can come with 50 pieces, 100 pieces, 1,000 pieces. You got to try to fit that stuff in. I ain't trying for all this fitting in no more. Fitting in is over. Either you are or you're not a match. That's it. So when you saying that finding her or whatever, or letting the man find a woman, is this man compatible to you? Is it a match? Can somebody look at you and say, oh, shoot, that is me, but a woman. That is me, but a man. I mean, just y'all act just like y'all do the same things. Like it shouldn't be a pull and tug all the time, or this or that all the time. That it's time out for that, because right now we living the life that we live in. If you're 40 and above and you got to still keep doing all this extra stuff, that's too much. You see what I'm saying? It's too much. So I guess as I have grown in life, my needs are changing, or things have changed and may have been different when I was 20. What I look for when I was 20 in my list. It has changed. I said it before, it has changed because now I have kids that's growing up. Kids that's getting ready to go to school. Kids going out of college. We need to make sure that we can make sound decisions for our kids, make sound decisions for our retirement, sound decisions for what we're going to leave in our life, sound decisions on how we want to be at peace. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to everybody trying to stop working. Not stop working, but everybody want to relax and not work as hard. Do I got to find a piece of the puzzle to put in here? Oh, Lord, have mercy. You know what I'm saying? We not compatible enough to work together. You pulling one way, I'm pulling another way. It's like, well, which way we going? This way or that way? You know what I'm saying? So I guess as life goes on, you know, as life changes, we have to make those decisions on what's going to be the best for us. You know, that's just my take, you know, and listening to everything that you said.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, will you be fulfilled in somebody that's just like you when you really don't understand who you are?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the reality is the reason why you're not married is because you're trying to get to know somebody else and you don't even know you.
That's right.
And so there was a question in here. Nene said, okay, so how do we do this in reality? If you want to get married, you need to start finding people and elevating yourself to where your company is people that make long-term decisions, not short-term investments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We understand that people in the upper echelon, they've learned how to make long-term decisions. They make decisions like, okay, I'm gonna buy these properties and these properties are going to, but guess what? If I'm in that upper echelon, I'm not looking down to get somebody. Either I'm making lateral moves or up moves. Are you a step up?
In their microphone. Mm-hmm.
Are you a step up in mentality and spirituality, or are you a lateral move, or does he have to go down to see you? So if you wanna change in reality, and you want to do this in reality, the thing that you have to do, Sister Nene, is to make sure, hear me good, you have to make sure that what you offer, it literally transcends what they're looking for. Becoming the best you know how to be. Enrich yourself. Read some books more than you watch TV. Elevate your mindset, because when you elevate your mindset, you deal with people in elevation. That's like all of these people wanting to be, you want the people in the penthouse, but you're afraid to get on the elevator.
Can't get there.
You can't get there. Well, Pastor, there's stairs. The problem is you're afraid of heights. And I know you're afraid of heights because you don't do nothing to elevate yourself. You watch TV more than you invest in who you are. If you spend more time on your social media than you do, I got in trouble again. If you spend more time on your social media than you do investing in who you are as a person, then you do not have the qualification, nor do you have the right to say anything about being single.
Oh, Ryan got a long one.
Ryan killed it too.
Uh-huh.
I can't put the whole thing up there on the thing. Can you see the whole thing?
Yeah, I can see the whole thing.
Sorry, comment. You know, baby said it because it's too long.
I didn't see
And
it.
Ryan, Ryan, the truth of the matter is that we have a whole lot of inexperienced and ego-driven men, because we have men who are looking for mentors, but not realizing that mentors shape an identity, but fathers give one. So they're looking to their women to be their identity. Oh, look at my girl. Ain't she the finest thing? Ain't she gorgeous? Ain't she the bomb? Ain't she? So you're looking for a trophy without having identity. You've never seen a football player just run on the field of any game without a uniform. Why? Because he's been given identity. And because he's been given identity, when he runs on the field, he knows what position to play.
Yeah.
The tailback doesn't play the quarterback position. The defensive line is not on the offense. But you don't know what position to play, so you look for somebody, watch this, to give you identity because you've never had any. Your father never gave you any. Their fathers never gave them identity. So what they do is they look for something that will make them have an identity beyond the lostness, if you will. Can I use that as a word? The lostness that they experience every day. Am I getting in trouble? Y'all ain't gonna never invite me back ever again.
Don't make it plain. We listening.
Yeah, helping us out. Help us out. We listening.
So that's why men choose these women who make their ego good, because watch this. In the front, in public, oh, they look like they got it. They got it all. She's fine. She's bad. She knows how to put herself together. Oh man, every man wants her. Every man's looking at her. Oh my goodness. You see how her butt moved while she was walking by us? But when she gets home, she can't do nothing but order. Because she can't cook. The kitchen ain't been used since they bought the house.
Don't even know how to work a stove.
Can't turn on a pilot light. Don't know what a pilot light looks like.
That's right. That's his thing.
Yep.
Wow.
And then, but you think he got it because she's fine. But in the same respect, he's in the background ready to kill himself, because now he got a woman with a whole bunch of problems.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the world on the outside is like, what in the world happened to them when they divorced? And they're like, what in the world? I thought it was perfect over there. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. Didn't know.
Guess when it come out.
That's because y'all want. That's why.
And a conversation with her.
That's right, right? That's because you want these Facebook pictures.
Yeah.
You want Facebook pictures and Instagrams and all of the filters.
Woo! Come on now.
And you trying to pattern your life behind the filter that was created.
Woo!
And now you mad at God. Oh God, why you put me in this situation? Dummy, he didn't, you did.
So
you got married for a filter. For some Facebook likes.
Not a filter. Not a whole filter. He got married to a whole filter. Yep.
And that's important.
The truth. That's the truth.
And that's important. We have to just start taking accountability and look at the thing and say, you know what? Right. In the long run, it's okay from here to across that street, but you got to go a long ways. This is some stuff to think about. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, so you got to court that girl for a while.
Yeah.
Don't just be popping up giving her. You better know who she is.
But it's important because it's peeling the layers off to why. Getting to the root to why things are the way they are. Like, what does it take to find her? What does it take to be found? You know what I'm saying? And it starts with, we got to peel the layers off to see.
You first.
Yeah.
You first.
Number one, here's your points to be found. Number one, identity.
Point one. I'm going to be putting this in the...
I'm going to write them down so you can get an identity.
Okay.
Identity. If you don't know who you are, you'll never experience who they are.
Know who you are. Come on now.
Number two, you got identity, right? I'm going too fast.
I got fingernails. Go ahead.
Number one is identity. Number two is security.
And
that goes to where you're found. I'm secure in my relationship with God or whoever your deity is. I'm secure in my relationship with my own mental space. I'm secure in my identity. So that when they find me, they don't feel like they have to work on me.
Come on now. Woo!
In order for me to be me.
That's a project in itself. That's a whole project.
I gotta work on you and
me.
Oh, no.
Now we both gotta work on.
That's it.
Come on.
It gets right there on the project. Never turn it in. Anyway, go ahead.
No, it never gets finished. Come on, turn it in. It ain't finished. It's still sitting over there. Girl, that mess.
So you got a 30-year-long project that don't nobody want to grade. Don't nobody want to deal with.
Nobody want to grade. They done gave up. Put the project to the side. But go ahead.
Throw the junk in the trash.
Yep.
So you got one, identity. Know who you are. Number two is security. Ready? Number three is elevation. Because once you have an identity and you become secure in that, you need to walk in that.
Walk in it.
And your walking in it will elevate you beyond what you thought you could be. Because if I'm the best I can be, I will always find the elevation that is associated to me. You gotta know.
Yes.
I can't plant watermelon seeds and be looking for corn during harvest. So you got to get out of, you got to get out of, well, this is how my mama raised me. Stop using that as your excuse.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is you're giving yourself an excuse to be the lackluster as part of you that don't nobody want. If I want what your mama did, I would have married your mama and cut through the middleman.
Good Lord. That's my daddy.
Why I gotta deal with? Let me cut through the middleman so I can get the authentic one.
Since she did, since she did,
your mama's still alive and she fine. Come on here, Jesus.
Right. That's the original. Look, that's the original. Let me get the original. Let me get the original then. Shoot.
So okay. I think if we can start with those 3 points.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you number 4. This is it. I'm done.
Okay.
Identity, security, elevation, then identification. You have to identify that you don't know what you want in a man.
You gotta admit that.
You don't. Women don't make lists, men do.
Oh. No. Men make the list, he said.
Women don't make lists, men do.
Okay.
Let me show you.
So
I know.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Because if a woman makes a list, her list will not even equal the stuff that she wants because she's more emotional than she is physical.
But let me back that up. I done made about 4 or 5 lists.
That's what I said.
Over the time, and now I've been married twice, right? And both of them marriages, and about 4 or 5 of them lists, I was supposed to be with this tall, high yellow, light skinned, curly haired man.
Green ass or blue ass, halfway Caucasian.
Neither one of them husbands. Nothing like this man that was on this list.
Ain't now shade close there. They ain't even lighter than me. They ain't even
I said, what the world? And all 4 of them lists had this light, bright man up there.
I ain't seen
because women don't make lists. Men make lists because we're visual. Y'all are emotional.
Yeah.
So because we got all of these women out here saying, well, I had a list, and if he ain't on the list of the things I need him to be, then he ain't even got a chance. Shut up. You don't have a list.
And he couldn't have no kids, but look, I had one. But he couldn't have no kids.
He can't have no kids.
Look at that. But I had to grow up. You know what I'm saying? But I've been married, but it was before this last marriage. I've been married now 10 years. But I had to say, Kia, what in the world? How this man can't have none, but he got to accept my kid. Now, how selfish is that? So I had to redo that list. But he don't have the complexion, but he had everything else, you know. But
So let me qualify. Let me qualify my credentials.
Okay.
Let me qualify my credentials. The woman I'm sitting next to right now. I went to her on our first date. She went to my prom with me. On our first date, I proposed. On the first date, instead of giving her a corsage, I gave her a half a carat worth of diamonds and told her she was going to marry me.
You were ready.
That was 26 years ago.
How? 26 years ago.
26 years ago.
Okay.
She told me I was crazy and told me to shut up. Because I wasn't what she wanted. I wasn't her type.
Right.
Her type was, she wanted a thug boy.
I want a light skin thug with the curly hair.
That's what she wanted. Take a long. She wanted a light skin guy too.
And you was a pretty boy. He was a pretty boy. She wanted
I was a nerd.
Oh.
I had the big glasses. I had the big teeth. My teeth didn't fit my mouth. None of that.
And painfully shy.
And desperately shy.
Michelle. He was shy.
He was shy. It was ridiculous.
So what? You bought him out because he's not shy now, girl.
I'm shy now. I'm the shy one now.
Yep.
I wasn't then.
So the reality was, I told her, because understand something, I've been preaching since I was 9. So I didn't have the benefit of going in and out of all of these different situations. I was in the house in God's presence. So because I was in God's presence, it didn't take me long to recognize a wife when I saw one.
That's right. Somebody that you needed.
But he honed my eyes to understand what my wife looked like. But here's the thing you have to understand. Please catch this. If you're making a list as a man, your list is always subject to change. Because most of our lists are based on our exposure.
Or what we see right that's around us.
That's all you know is what you've seen. So, women, let me go ahead and bust all your bubbles. All of the lists you're making, the reason why you haven't found your husband is because you're trying to stick to a list of somebody who's ignorant of what they need. Brother, you haven't found a wife because you've been looking in the wrong places. If where you look is a reflection of what you get, then you can't get mad if what you get becomes a reflection of what you need.
Wow.
Well.
A reflection.
What you need.
Match. Gotta look just like.
If she is not, I can leave Michelle in a house with 100 men. I'm not afraid that I'm going to come back and Shell's going to be run through. Because I understand that because she's my wife, she's not going to give them that latitude. Because I told God, I need a woman who was securely for me.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
So I think when we start talking about how to find her, you can't find her looking at the watering hole where all the animals come. One of my favorite movies. I know you're gonna laugh at me, but one of my favorite movies, judge your cousin, don't judge me. One of my favorite movies is The Lion King. The Lion King is one of my favorite movies. All of a sudden, one day, Simba says to Nala, let's go to the watering hole. I got something to show you. She said, the watering hole? Why are we going to the watering hole? Now, understand, as they're going to the watering hole, together they find out that they are destined to be married. They go to the watering hole and they play with people, but they don't marry them. Because what you have to understand is you can't marry at a community place what is reserved for you in particular. He's walking with his wife, and he didn't know it until a voice above him told him, y'all are betrothed. I'm gonna do it again. Come here. I'm gonna do it again. He's walking with the person he was destined to be with from birth. He doesn't know it, but a voice above him says to him, y'all are engaged, affianced, y'all are supposed to be married. He's like, hey? I can't marry him. He's my friend. The voice above them says, y'all might as well go ahead and get over that because this decision was made for you before you were born. All I'm trying to tell you is that the voice that was above them knew more than they knew, but if they went off their own understanding, they would always be single. This is why he says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll give you direction to the path you're supposed to take. He'll be the voice above you that tells you that's the one. I'm done.
Plain and simple.
That's it. That's it. I ain't coming behind you. I ain't saying nothing else. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Wow.
Wow, that was good.
That was.
Mm-mm-mm.
Dang. We're going to play to the water hose. He said, with my friends, they're going to the water hose. They're going to the water hose.
They'll say this is the Lion King edition.
Thank y'all so much. Thank
Absolutely.
you too very, very much. We really, really appreciate this. And for all our viewers that came on today, we thank you so much for coming on with Te'Necia and Sha'Keya. You may hear, I don't know if y'all heard the wind or the traffic, but we sat outside. It was a nice day outside today. We really appreciate King, Jake, and Queen Michelle coming on today. We really do appreciate them taking their time out to come on and talk with us Queens tonight. We want to just let you all, our viewers, know this whole month of April is Return of the Kings. The Return of the Kings. We're bringing the Kings back this month. We had a couple of Kings that came on this previous times before, and they were really, really good. And we want to get some insight from them to come back. So we want you to keep sticking with us. Keep sticking with us. We're doing this podcast. We ain't going nowhere. So for those that are thinking that we're going to be leaving, just keep watching. We ain't going nowhere. And I do want to tell Jake and Michelle, thank you, because you all's presence are encouraging us so much, just to be here. It's good to have good friends or people that we can connect ourselves with that has a positive
genuine
influence.
Conversation. Yep.
Good conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot. We're not trying to compete. They don't get up here and try to bash us and say all these different things like this, because it's not about us. The thing is, we're trying to help those that are in need. You know what I'm saying? You got different people watching. You got marriage couples watching. You got single people watching. You got divorced people watching. You got people looking for marriages watching. So these conversations, just because we see the viewers up here now, some people don't even watch it. They want to watch later. So it doesn't even matter. Just as long as the conversation is helping you, we ask people to tag and share. Just share it out. Not because it's me and Sha'Keya. We ain't worried about that. Share it if it will help somebody else. So, if that's it, like I said, we want to thank everyone for coming. Next week we have our guest Chad Nails. He'll be on next week, and he said he is identifying her. He didn't found her. You on the night finding her. I think what was his? I will put it on the thing. He has a good one too. When he knows she's the one, he knows she's the one. I think that's what his topic is. He's coming from a male perspective, and he's a life coach as well. So we want to just thank everybody for coming on. And do you have any closing remarks or anything you want to say?
Nope.
Okay. So, Michelle, can you close us out, Miss Queen? You give us some words of encouragement. Ow! I want to put you on the spot. Oh! Jake, you want to close us out? Will let Jake sing to you so we can close us out?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be beautiful, Michelle. You think he'll do that? He'll do it, Michelle. Ask him. Ask him, Michelle.
What you say?
What'd you
Sing
say?
to you.
Ask him to sing to you and close us out.
Sing to me to close us out.
No.
Please.
Oh. I was going to think of a song.
I had to think of a song.
Okay.
Trusting in someone who's made of flesh and blood is such a frightful situation. Continual emotional intensive care is from too high expectations. So like a flower depends on rainfall, and like true lovers depend on phone calls. Like a song needs a tune, my heart depends on you. you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, guys. Live your best life.
Have a very good week.
Good
See you
week.
guys.
See you Sunday. Bye-bye.